Hey everybody, it's Felisa. It is Monday, a beautiful Monday in the neighborhood. I'm actually glad that the sun finally came out. It was looking a little overcast and we had plenty of rain over the weekend. So we are back to our normal summertime weather. And it is burning up, and I got on this sweater like I am not at all in my right mind. Anyway, so I wanted to do this vlog on my way to a doctor's appointment, and so I'm leaving work a little bit early, and I actually am in really good spirits today, and I'm so happy about that because Saturday was a difficult day, child. Like, I spent the whole day crying and was just an emotional mess and just couldn't figure out like what the crap is wrong with me. And I have definitely, done more testing for, like, I had my doctor test my thyroid, and I had my doctor test my estrogen levels to see if I was perhaps entering menopause, and nothing. So either I'm just crazy or we just have not found out what's actually going on, if it's a physical condition. And I'm not opposed to the idea that I just might not be altogether there. But anyway, so the reason that I wanted to do this car chronicle was because, and I'm sweating, I'm sorry y'all, but I wanted to do this car chronicle because I'm telling you, I had an epiphany over the weekend, and this has been really kind of stirring in my spirit since Sunday night at least. And I'm telling you, when this epiphany hit me, I literally felt the weight just off of my shoulders, and I'm gonna tell y'all what that is. So first I want to do my disclaimer that these are my ideas, my thoughts, my rants, my observations, and it definitely does not mean that it is a one way to view things. It is my way of viewing things, and it may or may not resonate with you, but I really hope that at least today you will take some of what I say and digest it and put it into action for your life. So here we go. So I was, like I said, I had a difficult time on Saturday, and I really just couldn't figure out like what was wrong with me. There was nothing wrong with me. Like, I just really was having an emotional day, and trying to figure out, is this tied to my cycle, or was there something chemical going on? Like, what in the world is really happening? I even tried to think, is this are we close, or around a date that might be significant to me for trauma or loss, like my dad's birthday, or the anniversary of my grandparents passing away, and nothing. Like, we're past all of that, honest to God. So I couldn't figure it out. So it was just driving me crazy. So I was talking to a friend of mine, and he basically said that I need to figure out what he asked me, do I know what makes me happy? And I said no. I had no idea. And so his suggestion was you really need to figure out what makes you happy, and you need to you gotta figure out what makes you happy, and that happiness cannot be tied to another person, or something along those lines. And I swear, when he said that, excuse me y'all, I'm just sweating. When he said that, the light bulb really went off, and I began to think about how a lot of my happiness has been tied to another person or to other people, aka a significant other, or my children. When your children don't act right, there's a scripture in Proverbs that I don't particularly care for, and I can't quote it verbatim, I think I blocked it, but basically it said that a great son is praised at the gate by his father, and a terrible son makes his mother insane, or something like that, or she puts her to shame, or something like that. And I'll be like, Lord, why if the kid is good, he get all the credit, and if the kid is bad, she get all the blame? I just don't even understand that. That's just not fair. So I've always had issue with that scripture, but I do think that it's true, and I think that it may be more of the fact that moms or mothers internalize things that are detrimental with their children or things that are going on with their children, I think more deeply. You know, a lot of times I'll hear dad say something like, he'll figure it out, or she'll get it together, or I'm not about to deal with the attitude. And they just go on with their lives. Meanwhile, mothers are losing sleep and hair, and, you know, we losing weight and stressing, and, you know, we trying to get these kids to take a healthy dose of Acarite and chill and all that kind of stuff, and just please be like you had some home training, just a little bit. And meanwhile, daddies be like, nope, cut them off, lock them out, teach them a lesson. And we be like, no, our baby, blah, blah, blah. So I think that scripture probably, and I haven't done, you know, the Greek and the Hebrew breakdown, so pastors, please don't come for me. But I really believe in my heart that that's the way that scripture should be interpreted. Not that, you know, you get all the credit for one or the other, but because of the way that we internalize things, this is how it reflects overall. Anyway, so, you know, yeah, I have definitely had a lot of concern about my children and decisions that they make. And, you know, as a single mom, I carried that weight for so long, as far as, oh Lord, please let them, you know, be healthy and sound. And, you know, don't misunderstand me and don't get me wrong. I love my kids and I am proud of them. But, you know, as a mom, you always want them to achieve more and do more and, you know, all those kinds of things. And you just want them to be self-sufficient and happy and stable and, you know, and whatever. And so, yeah, I stress about that a lot and just want them to be okay in the world. And a lot of my feeling happy, I think, you know, was derived from, are my kids okay? You know, are my kids cared for? Are my kids, you know, doing what they need to do? Are they, you know, getting along in the world properly? You know, those kinds of things. And, you know, as it pertains to, you know, other stuff, like just a lot of jobs and things that I've had has been because I needed to put food on the table. And I didn't have the luxury of just, you know, being a starving artist or, you know, just living off my savings for, you know, for 6 months or 8 months or whatever, just trying to figure it out. And I'm going to get this writing career off the ground. Everything that I've done as far as passion and as far as tapping into those things that actually make me happy and bring me joy, I've done it as a hobby because I could never afford to pursue it full time because it didn't yield me the kind of income to keep the lights on. Or, well, I should say, to keep the lights on for myself and for other human beings. So, yeah, it's always been, you know, that kind of mindset. And then, you know, my marriage wasn't a particularly happy one, and I learned how to play with pain. I really did. Like, I learned how to survive and adapt and, you know, do things that kept me afloat and kept me from really sinking deeper into the abyss. So, you know, I just think that perspective and that awareness made the light completely click on for me. It made it completely relevant because what I remembered in that moment in making my list that makes me happy is that this is for me. A lot of times, ladies, especially my moms, my single moms, we don't really have the opportunity, nor are we ever encouraged to just be selfish. We think that selfish is a bad word. We think that doing things for self is somehow intrinsically terrible and it makes you a terrible parent. No, what it does is it makes you a great parent because you practice self-care and you practice self-investment and you practice self-promotion and self-sustaining measures. Those are all things and hallmark of a healthy and functioning human being. It is not normal to swallow your feelings. It is not normal to delay your passion so much until when you're ready to act on it, you can't even remember what they were. It is not normal to continue to defer your dreams. You know, it's not normal to do that, but we've made the abnormal normal. We've made the dysfunctional functional for us, and we got to stop that. And so I think that for me, part of my giddiness, if you will, and my joy since actually hearing this and deciding to put this in motion is that I have complete control over me. I have complete control over pursuing those things that bring me joy. I have complete control over saying no to those things that don't benefit me in any real or tangible way. I have complete control over deciding what it is that I want to participate in and how. I have complete control over that. Nobody else. My ability to make a decision or to be happy or to be full of joy is not based on nobody but me. And I swear to goodness, that is such a simple truth, but it was so liberating. It really was. So I'm just going to put out, and say to you, ladies, if you've given, and even guys, if you've given over control of your happiness to another human being, please understand that you're in complete control of that. And sometimes hard decisions have to be made. Sometimes you have to leave relationships. Sometimes you have to tell your kids no. Sometimes you have to look for another job. Sometimes you have to defer, things that other people want you to do in favor of doing something that's really important and necessary for your overall growth and development. Sometimes you have to make a decision to save yourself. Just like on an aircraft, if there's turmoil or there's trouble, the oxygen mask, the stewardess will tell you that the oxygen mask will fall from the heavens. And so they will tell you, put yours on first before you assist other people. A lot of us are running around here trying to be Captain Save them, and we're putting on everybody else's air mask or oxygen mask but our own. We don't have one, and we are choking to death. We're choking to death. And then we get frustrated because we like, dang, don't nobody see that we choking to death and ain't nobody gonna help us? No, they're not. No, they're not, because you've trained them to respond to your help, and you've trained them to respond to your, rising to the occasion and defense, and you've trained them that you don't need that. And they don't even know how to give it to you if they had to. So sometimes you need to make demands, and if people don't meet those demands, I'm getting tongue-tied because I'm so excited. But if people can't meet those demands, then you have every right to say that, you know what, then you can't function in this capacity in my life because it does not make me happy. It does not contribute to my growth and my overall development. So I'm sorry, we just don't have a meeting of the minds. And you have to be able to put that in motion and stop being stuck because you don't have any control. You can't make anybody do nothing. You can't make anybody do anything. You really can't. You can't pressure somebody into doing what it is that you want them to do. And even if you could, you don't really want to coerce someone in that manner. If people are not, on board with whatever the vision is for your life, then you need to either demote them or fire them, period. Stop keeping them in these elevated positions where they have access to your emotions and to your feelings. And, you're really just like a marionette on the string, and they're pulling all the strings and making you dance, and you trying to figure out why you crazy, or in my case, sitting up on the couch crying, snotting and boohooing. Nope. Plan all the trips, plan all the businesses, go out, see your friends, whatever you need to do, finish your book, all of that stuff. And don't be afraid to do it by yourself if nobody else wants to go along on the journey with you. I'm Felisa. I wanted to drop that in your ear today. I really hope that it encourages someone, because it definitely encourages me. And I will see y'all later on. Leave your feedback below. Don't forget to subscribe, please, ladies and gentlemen, and hit the notification so that you can know when I am uploading and I have new content. Talk to you later. Bye.